The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
And also kind of going on, obviously, with what we've seen so far in Major League Baseball with the umpires is the new ABS system. I heard you and Choice talking about that yesterday, and it sounds like the fans are into this too, and maybe everybody's into it, but the umpires. But I would think that the umpires want to get it right. But man, it goes to show you how close it is and how difficult I think the job is to call balls and strikes when you kind of see how thin the margin is.
You see some of them. I do think it's given a little bit more of an understanding. You see some of them that you're like, yeah, that's a strike, good call, and it gets challenged, and you see how much it's missing by, how thin, razor thin that margin is, and you're like, okay, I kind of feel bad for the umpire because that was close enough, right?
Right.
That I totally could have thought that was a strike, right? But I'm sure it's hard for them. I'm sure there's a bit of an ego punch that they're taking being wrong sometimes, but there's also the side of it that, when guys get it right, or certain guys aren't getting challenged as much as other guys. So, but if we put somebody over, we grab them a chair and sit them over here to my right, and they stop the show every time that we said something wrong.
Right, no.
And I'm going to challenge that, and then Jeff's going to look up the information, and Jeff's going to come back with that right or wrong. It'd probably wear on us too.
Yeah, right.
So that's what they're dealing with.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
it would be kind of fun to do that one time. Kind of throw a challenge flag, but then if they were wrong, like if the person that
show
was
is it that ESPN has, pardon the interruption, where they have the guy at the end is like mistakes and omissions or something.
Oh yeah.
And he just says, earlier in the show, Chuck said that there are two different schools in Abilene playing Texas Tech last night. Actually, that was really just one school, two different programs.
Well, yeah, there's the factual stuff, and then there's like just the the kind of the slip of the tongue stuff, which is kind of that's different. The factual stuff is the one that. Well, I mean, it's still, I mean, I think
it's still inaccurate.
It's still inaccurate, but I mean,
it still counts as being wrong.
One is just like, okay, well, it just didn't come out the way that I wanted it to, as opposed to. Calling the Milwaukee Brewers still in the American League when they're clearly in the National League. There's so it's interesting how this thing is working with the balls and strike system, the new automated ball strike system. I guess it makes you wonder why we haven't had it, even though the technology has been there. But you got it now, and you've got more replay than ever. They had a questionable call at first base last night between in the Brewers game with Tampa Bay, and they ended up getting it. They got the call right at the end of the day. They got the call right, but the guy that didn't make the call was the human umpire, and so they went back and looked at it, and it was clear that the guy didn't touch the bag, and so it was what it was. But at the end of the day, you want to. I think you want to get it right, and just kind of you may have to take a little egg on your face just for a little bit.
Yeah, that's ultimately what it boils down to for the umpires. Yeah,
I wonder.
It's no different than any other part of the game that uses the replay or a challenge system. That their potential is that umpires could be wrong, and they just have to deal with the fact that that's a possibility. But at the same time, most normal humans watching sports expect that they're going to get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah,
because
it's never perfect.
Again, like we just talked about, the pitch is a razor thin margin. So, and I mean, I think that we get it. So it's not like when you see an umpire get it wrong sometimes that you're like, that guy is terrible.
Yeah.
You just think, man, that was a really tough one to call.
And this, it may be the same or maybe maybe very close, but this is exactly what tennis has been using for years and years and years to call it in or out, right?
Right. And it's very quick.
Yeah, it's very quick and it's very clear. And
it's an upgraded version of that. Tennis has straight lines that don't move.
Yeah.
The batter's box changes every batter.
Sure.
That's why we didn't have it until last year in the minor leagues, because it had to be able to adjust quickly to the different batter box sizes as the people step into the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think that's what's taken the time. I think that's taken the time because people said balls and strikes should be called by a human. I don't think it was the adjusting of up or down for a shorter person or a taller person.
I think
there's been too much pushback of that part of the game has to be called by a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long.
And I think what they did was really smart, and then having it in the minor leagues, and every baseball fan's like, oh, okay, that is really fast. Oh, that does really work well. Wow, that's quick. That doesn't feel like it slows the game down. And I think that's what got people thinking, okay, we can do this at the big league level.
Well, and the other thing too is you had some players coming up through the minors they became accustomed to it, that are playing big league ball now too, probably.
Well, that's fine, but they're not the majority by any stretch of the imagination. But the majority didn't use it in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Jamie, about I think there was pushback from the umpires, but I do think that technology did have to improve.
Just baseball people in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying I pushed back on it, but I didn't feel like it was necessary. But then I, again, saw it last year, and I'm like, okay, this could be good. Yeah. It's fast. It doesn't slow the game down.
So you don't have any issue with it then?
No, I think that it's good.
So basically it's I think it's kind of worked out, just like the tennis is, it's worked out.
My question. Remember what we were complaining about last year at this time?
No.
Pitchers adjusting to the pitch clock violations.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly did that go away?
Yep. Was that just last year or that?
I guess that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we're like, all these guys are getting pitch clock violations, and and we get, one a week now? Yeah. If that.
The question I have for you is how quickly will the ABS trickle down to college baseball?
Yep, don't know. Obviously, there's a cost that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. So as that price goes down, that'd be more likely, but that's probably the biggest reason right now.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The first day of April, don't be fooled today, April 1st, 2026. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Yeah, no fooling. 1930, Chicago Cubs catcher Leo, Hartnett breaks the altitude record for a catch by gloving a baseball dropped from the Goodyear blimp at 800 feet over Los Angeles, California.
Hey,
these are things we need to get back to.
Good luck with that. I'm now thinking that's probably why our texter Casey at the beginning of the show said, buckle up. It's going to be a good one.
Could be.
Because it's April 1st. I just realized that.
Yeah, could be.
Had somebody told me that yesterday was the last day of March, I would have known that today was April 1st.
I did. I believe I did tell you that yesterday. That it was the last day of March.
I'm kidding. I give you all the credit. Well done.
1950.
I did forget it was April 1st, though.
1954. Detroit Red Wing right wing Gordie Howe scores 2 goals and an assist and sets a Stanley Cup playoff record for the fastest goal from the start of a game. 9 seconds. In a 4-3 overtime win over Toronto in Game 5 of the semifinals.
He was the right winger for the Red Wings.
And there was a lot of wings and rights there. Yes, and R's. 1981. Edmonton center Wayne Gretzky has an assist, his 103rd, and the Oilers' 4-4 tie with the Colorado Rockies to break Bobby Orr's 10-year mark for most assists in a single NHL season. In the year 2000, Corey Sellers goes 2 for 3, walks twice, hits a grand slam, and drives in 7 runs as Texas Tech routs Kansas State 19-7. And in 2010, Scott Lejeune goes 4 for 4, and Chad Bettis has 3 scoreless relief innings as Texas Tech upsets number 20 Kansas State 8-5. It is National Sourdough Bread Day.
Okay.
I have to be in the mood for it.
Was it too hard, too thick? Just they're not the right taste?
It's got to be... I like sourdough when I want sourdough. It's not what I would want on a daily basis.
My 2 daughters love it.
Do you have to be in a mood for it, Jamie? Or
I do not.
Okay.
One of them said yesterday, I get a smile on my face when I wake up every morning knowing that we have a loaf of sourdough bread out here for me to put some jam on.
Oh.
Yeah. She's that excited about it.
I usually do like a hot sandwich on one when I use sourdough.
Yeah. A grilled cheese sandwich on one. That's legit.
Okay.
Randy Orton having a birthday today. He's 46, so watch out for the flying RKOs. And Mark Jackson is 61.
Flying what?
RKOs. That was his finishing move.
What's an RKO?
You are standing center ring with your back to him, and he comes flying past you, basically puts you in a headlock and slams you face first into the mat.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So you
Which, of course, if I was in a ring fighting someone, what I would do, Chuck, is I would stand with my back to them.
Well, you were just getting up after being knocked down, Jamie.
Super
You
smart
weren't
of me.
really aware of where he was.
I mean, I feel like if I'm in a fight with someone, I'm going to try to do everything I can to keep my eyes on them.
And on this day, 1970, President Richard Nixon signs legislation officially banning cigarette ads on television and radio. Nixon enjoyed an occasional cigar, but supported the legislation as the increasing instance of public health advocates. A lot of sales guys lost money today.
They did.
So
they did.
sad for them. They had to go sell car commercials. And that's this day of sports history.
Just find something else. Just move on, find something else. 6:50 this morning here on the morning drive. Snead last year pulled an April Fool's joke on me.
And a lot of people. You are not the only one.
Yeah, but it was directed at me, and he got me. I mean, he got me. Came in here. You were, I think, leaving for an hour. I don't know. For some reason, he showed up for an hour, and came in on crutches, and announced that he was ending his refereeing career, and I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, guy comes in on crutches, but I should have been more on guard, but I wasn't, and I got had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all right.
That's fun.
That's right. I got him back.
You did?
Yeah.
How'd you get him back?
I got him back because one day his Kaylee's Dailies, he got interrupted in terms of who was bringing it, and it was brought to you by Chuck Heinz Enterprises for a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was caught off guard with that. So he gave me a touche on that, which was nice. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. My company wants me to sign up for robot answering my office phone and helping people.
Jamie would like the number of the robo answering service for his phone.
Yeah,
like all of them: cell phone, regular phone, his office
Your phone doesn't ring that. Does your phone ring that often?
No.
I was going to say
that doesn't mean Jamie wants to answer it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would tell your company that's a bad idea. I mean, I don't know how many phone calls you're getting or anything like that, but it's highly irritating getting all the way through that type of mess. I mean, sometimes I think we've lost our ability to communicate with people, and it all starts with giving people alternate ways to communicate that just avoids human interaction. And as somebody that obviously loves human interaction, it just frustrates the bejesus out of me. So, yeah, I would say.
Why do you think for some people that they've lost the quote unquote ability to communicate? Because first of all, I don't think that everybody's lost the ability.
I didn't think everybody. I think just in general, 30,000 foot view, our ability to go out and talk to people and help people is not, and just be able to solve problems, the good old fashioned way, face to face, mano a mano, belly to belly, looking somebody in the eye, whether you're trying to do business or apologize or, solve a problem or celebrate something. It's just, we've just lost that. We've lost that general skill set.
I'm not going to completely disagree with you. I also think there's a factor in it that people are, obviously the phone factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can text or call and not have a face-to-face conversation. I think that factors in. But I also think that there's some people don't respect other people's time.
There's that.
And there
that's
are
fair.
people that don't know how to stop talking. And so that makes other people want to communicate face-to-face less.
There's some truth in that. I just think that there's some times when it's obvious to me that there's times when people want to celebrate stuff. They would want to do it, face-to-face and as many people as they can. But if there's conflict involved, they want to avoid that as best they can and not try to resolve it.
I think that's every person in the entire world.
You're telling me people want to avoid conflict? No way!
Yeah.
What's next? They like ice cream sundaes too?
Sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to go through it. Anyway, the guy that his company wants to sign up for a robot answering my phone and helping people says, my thoughts exactly, Chuck. Okay, well, feel free to share them with your boss. That's what I think too. I don't know if it gets you anywhere, but maybe it might. You never know.
Never know.
The
influence that we have on America sometimes is stunning.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have Astro Baseball at 12:40 today. That's the broadcast time they finish up their series with the Red Sox. We'll have the Rangers and the Orioles today from Baltimore, I should say. 11 o'clock for your midday broadcast time, and about 11:35 first pitch from Baltimore. Have you ever been to Baltimore, to that park?
I have not.
I think I would
Looks
like to.
a nice one, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go there sometime. And then tonight we'll have Red Raider softball with Jerry Glasgow. It's the inaugural edition of that show tonight on Double T 97.3 and 92.3 The Hub.
You want to keep your ticket stub?
Yeah, you will. No, it's only
very first one.
Only online now, or available through your app. You have to. I miss the ticket stub.
Yeah.
I missed. I mean, I get it. I understand. It's made it a lot easier getting tickets to people and transferring them. I get all of it. But I do miss the hard ticket stub in my hand. Having that. All right. Jamie and Hex both add stories / observations along the way during their broadcasts, and I personally enjoy it very much. I agree. I do too. You guys are very good together. So we don't want to bust up that dynamic duo. This one, you could replace me with a trained monkey and everybody would be just happy.
I'm not training the monkey.
You're not training another monkey. Okay.
No.
All right. So I saw this morning, and this comes from the National Football League, and I guess we're getting closer and closer to having a situation where you could have replacement officials. The NFL and the NFL Referees Association broke off their collective bargaining for a new agreement last week. The contract between the two expires on May the 31st. The league has been collecting college football officials' names who could serve as replacements during preseason and possibly regular season games. The problem is these college officials would then potentially have to give up their gigs with said conferences. So the question you would ask yourself is, why would you do that?
Yeah. If
it's only going to be for a handful of games, and if there's not going to be an opportunity for you to have full-time employment with the NFL. So it seems like that's a whole different set of circumstances. So what they're going to do is Rich McKay, who used to be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and whose dad was John McKay, the longtime coach of USC, and led them to a national championship back in the 70s and coached the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He said the league is going to reallocate some existing game day employees to ensure appropriate staffing at each game to cover, to help things. Apparently, quote, according to this ESPN article, NFL owners are alarmed about the state of negotiations, as well they should be, and they're insistent upon a new CBA that provides avenues to improving the state of NFL officiating. So I'm not here to, talk about how good or how bad it is. I'm just reporting the facts here as they see them. So one of the things that they want to do is that those staff members would be permitted to alert replacement referees that a flag shouldn't have been thrown if there is clear and obvious video evidence that at least one element of the foul called is not present, according to the verbiage. Fouls eligible for this alert would include twisting, pulling, or turning the face mask, roughing the passer, intentional grounding, horse collar tackles, illegal contact, pass interference, and disqualification. That's almost something I wouldn't mind seeing for even the regular officials too, if somebody observes and sees it. How do you feel about that?
When I read this article, I just became angry because I'm like, if we can do this for these replacement guys that we feel like need the extra help, why aren't we doing it for the regular guys?
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Why? To protect their egos? If you can do this and it can help get it right, why wouldn't you be doing it all the time?
I agree.
I mean, it just made me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like that this is something that, and who knows, maybe this is part of what the negotiation is going on with regard to the regular referees that they want to do this, and maybe that the regular referees are pushing back. I have no idea.
Angry's too strong of a word, but I just think it's dumb that they don't use it all the time.
Yes, right. If you've got the ability to do it, then go ahead and do it, right? Especially if you can do it in a pretty concise manner, so that it's not, delaying the game, And I'm sure the officials are going to go, hey, that takes away the human element, all this. But I mean, if you have the ability to get it right and get it right within seconds, why not get it right? Especially with today's technology, In addition, after the 2-minute warning or an overtime, the list of called or uncalled penalties that league staff members could provide referees with would expand to include unsportsmanlike conduct based on pushing or kicking at an opponent. During kicks, league staff members could also consult on the leverage and leaping rules. They can also assist on discerning whether a foul should be classified as roughing or running into the kicker. Okay. So I don't know. To me, that makes a lot of sense to do it, like you said, for the regular officials as well. So it's going to be interesting. And these jobs in the National Football League, I read somewhere, and this is the number that I saw. The average official, the pay is like $385,000. So we're not talking about $50 a game here. We're talking about real big time, big boy, big girl, high paying, above the average. Because I mean, look, if you're an NFL official, you're considered to be a cut above everybody else, right?
You would think so.
So they're compensated handsomely for doing that, and there's like the toll on the body, and I get all of that.
But it's not that much.
Well, I mean, they're running and all that. And there's the officials that get injured and things like that. There's a wear and tear on the body.
How many officials get injured in a season?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean,
3 or 4.
But you have to be in a high level of shape to be able to be.
I don't disagree with that.
An official.
I don't know about high level. Some of them are in a high level of shape. Some of them are just in a shape, as Jeff likes to say.
Okay. At any rate, I
wear and tear on. It's not like they're running into each other. Mm-hmm. If they are, that's on them.
The second change to replay will be. For the first time, replay officials in New York will have the authority to disqualify a player and direct that a penalty be enforced, even if on-field officials had not thrown a flag. In the case of either a flagrant football act or non-football act, this takes effect independent of negotiations with the National Football League Referees Association.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I thought that would be, good conversation to have. And so you're with me on that. If we're going to do it with the replacement guys, then we should do it with the regular guys and gals too.
We absolutely should.
You know, especially if we've got the technology. The other changes that the league owners approved: a rule that eliminates a team's incentive to kick the ball out of bounds on kickoffs from the 50-yard line, allowing teams to declare an onside kick at any point in the game. This change arose because teams wanted to be able to use an onside kick if a penalty enforcement led them to kicking off from the 50. Okay, so there's some nuances to all of that stuff, but the first two things I thought were really interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens if they cannot get a deal done. Surely they can, right? Surely we're not going to have the replacement officials like we had a few years ago.
Man, I have no idea, dude. I mean,
I don't
it
either.
happened a few years ago, so it wouldn't shock me that it happens again.
Mm-hmm.
When money is involved, people get a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Somebody says this feels similar to the ABS with umpires. It takes the power from refs and makes it where they are not always right in place of getting the correct ruling. Yeah, well, I mean, if the goal should be to get it right? The goal should be
Correct.
to get it right. And sometimes...
And I think most officials are totally bought into that.
Yeah.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. We've talked about the possibility of the Red Raiders contest with Houston in football this upcoming season being moved to a Friday. Some like it, some don't like it, some are just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the opportunity to move one of the games on the Red Raider schedule to a Friday, which one are you moving?
Any of them? No, nothing disqualified.
Correct.
Okay.
Has to be one of their games.
Yes.
No, I understand that. I'm moving the TCU game to the day after Thanksgiving. I think it'd be awesome to be like a night game the day after Thanksgiving. It might be a little chilly. Might have to bundle up, take a blanket, take your snuggle bunny with you. But I think it would be. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Get people back in town. That'd be, I think a good visibility for you and showcase what you got. So I'm going to say move the TCU game from the 28th to the 27th of November.
So we're asking folks to travel on Thanksgiving.
Well, no, they can come back the day after Thanksgiving on that Friday morning.
So leave your families and head to Lubbock.
I mean, I think it's been my experience, by the time people get to Friday morning, they've kind of had enough of family and they're ready to go shopping or come to a football game. Make them come to Lubbock,
I don't hate your choice.
Jeff?
So I'm picking a road game. So the Red Raider fans don't have to change their travel schedule.
I guess that's allowed.
And if we're
Why
moving,
was that funny?
Well, because he went for a road game and not a home game. I thought the whole intention of the exercise here was a home
he said
game.
pick a game on the schedule.
He did. You're right.
And you clarified any game, and I said yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I just thought Jeff was smarter than the average. That's why he's a 1%er. He thought outside the box.
It's really more selfish reasons. I don't want to set up our game day stage on a Thursday.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go at Colorado. Move that to a Friday. It's a little wacky in Colorado anyway.
Sure.
They won't even notice.
Okay, I'm with Jeff. I want a road game. So, not for the same reasons that Jeff does, but just I want a road game. And I'll take the Oregon State game.
Okay.
And that'll be a later kick time because it's going to be a Friday in Oregon. And so everybody can go to their high school football games and be home in time to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You can, go out there to wherever you're going, and by the time if it's a home game, you're back at the house in time.
Okay.
For this late kickoff at Oregon State? And if not, you have something to listen to while you're driving home.
Mm-hmm.
Makes the drive go better, faster. It's perfect. Get to listen to Red Raider football. There's nothing that makes a drive go faster than listening to a sporting event that you're interested in.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. No, you're.
Or riding with Chuck. That also makes it go faster. If you have a death wish.
Yeah. If you have not ridden with me in years.
There's a reason for it.
Like years. You know, it's funny. The lucky lady was driving home from Dallas. She was with daughter number 1, and they were listening to the Tech basketball game, and it was an exciting moment, and her speed kept increasing. And I don't know, they got excited. They were listening to the game. We were winning. And all of a sudden she looked up and there was a patrolman, DPS guy, pulling her over. And the guy comes up. This is a true story that just happened within the last 60 days. And the guy comes up and says, "Ma'am, is there a reason why you were speeding?" She said, "Well, sir," she goes, "I am so sorry. I was listening to the Tech basketball game and it was really exciting. And I guess I just didn't notice how fast I was going." And he took her license and looked at her and said, "Ma'am, if you'll just keep it down for me." She got off with a warning. So, how about that? Me, I'm not generally as lucky, but I mean, all I have to do is run my record. And I mean, they're giving me a ticket almost every time.
Well, that's cool that he was kind to her.
He was kind to her, right?
Maybe he was a Red Raider fan.
Maybe he was a Red
too.
Raider fan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just looks like a nice person. Or maybe
he felt sorry
realized,
for her.
He figured out who the husband was and said, "You know what? You deserve a break today."
You deserve a break today.
Yeah.
Centex Hank, he doesn't always agree with me, but he does this time. Yes, I agree with Chuck. Move the TCU game. Okay. One of
I don't hate having that game on a Friday.
Yeah. And I really think that's what's going to happen, but I guess maybe not with regard to the kind of the way that things were announced about the Houston game.
The selfish thing that I don't like about it is that makes our employees have to work on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day.
Because of setting it up.
Yeah, so I would prefer not to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. It is 7:38 this morning here on the morning drive. If you have an opinion on that, we've got just a disturbing thing from Jay here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. "Jamie, I'm so bummed because my favorite Tech baseball shirt got eaten by a possum. Luckily, I was not wearing the shirt while it was being eaten." And you,
I mean, that is the good part of that story.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
Was he camping and the possum got into the tent?
I don't know.
Did he have it hanging out on the fence post drying after he washed it?
I don't know.
The possum got to it? Did a possum get like in your garage or something and the way you captured him was with the shirt?
Possum. Of all things.
Yes.
Possum. This Jamie, I must say I really enjoy listening to Tech baseball. You and the other guy make the game enjoyable. Y'all paint great word pictures. You and the other guy.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
That's very nice of you.
Mm-hmm. Very kind. It's a lot of fun.
I'm just glad I'm not the only one who gets scared with Chuck's driving, LOL. That might have come from Mark Finkner on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Double T 97.3 presents the Morning Drive Power Hour. The Power Hour is presented by Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive, hour 3 of 3. I think we've had a very spirited, good day so far today. See if we can finish strong. With Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. We get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Chucky Mike, dumb take of the day. As the season ticket holder that travels for Thanksgiving to family, Friday would not be an option for the TCU game. That was from Jamie's question of the day. None of our tailgating group would make it back for that one. Take came in premature before Power Puff Hour. Ha ha. It's the Power Hour. It's not the Power Puff Hour. Power Puff. I imagine Chuck gets as excited for a rocket launch as he does selection shows.
I would think that's accurate.
Pretty accurate. They didn't land on the moon last time. Okay, come on. Go away. They did too. Just stop with it. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but we did land on the moon. I watched it. Watched it from my parents' basement. Right there. Neil Armstrong. Boom. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Way to go.
Okay, so just to finish my thought, and then we'll get to baseball. So last night I was browsing on the social media, and somebody had put together a photo of kind of a spaceman's anchor desk, and I was thinking, oh, that'd be awesome. They had because what you had back in the day, and this is kind of akin to like old school broadcasters. So I had my favorite space broadcasters in addition to my favorite sportscasters. Okay, so you would watch. For the most part, Walter Cronkite and Wally Schirra. Wally Schirra was a former astronaut, and he was the analyst, and Walter Cronkite was the play-by-play guy. He was the anchorman. And then on NBC, you had John Chancellor and Jay Barbee, who witnessed every launch from Alan Shepard to the last launch of the shuttle before he died. They were on NBC. And on ABC, you had Frank Reynolds and Jules Bergman. He was science editor Jules Bergman, and he had the inside. He was like the the inside guy inside the space complex. And I was thinking, man, would be great to have those guys, but they're all dead now. It's too bad.
That's definitely too bad.
It's kind of like back in the day, you'd have Kurt Gowdy, Aldi Rogatis, Keith Jackson. You'd have Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, Dandy Don, Pat Summerall, all those guys, Lindsey Nelson. But anyway, so in addition to having my favorite sportscasters, I had my favorite space announcers too.
It's fun.
It's fun. But I thought when I saw that photo, I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Okay.
Did they have a pair of favorite space socks too?
I'm sure Walter Cronkite did. Walter Cronkite, CBS News. I mean, he was outstanding with that stuff. And Wally Schirra could, he would take that capsule and put it in his hands, and he would tell you where everything was going and what was happening, because he was the guy that had launched on Apollo 7. He knew exactly what was going on.
Awesome.
I know. Fascinating, right?
Fascinating.
Okay. What stood out? Somebody says this: Chuck's rocket launch and basketball rolling around the rim and falling in sound effects are the same. Did anything stand out to you about baseball last night? I mean, where you went, oh, that was fun. That was good. That was something we hadn't seen in a while, or good to see that happening again, or something along those lines?
I think Bryce Suter coming in and pitching well. He had kind of fallen on some hard times. It had been a little bit rough the last couple of times out. So I thought he was solid last night. Not spectacular, but he was solid. So I was a big fan of that.
Okay. And probably also a big fan of just top of the lineup, getting some hits, especially, seeing, I mean, it wasn't much, but I mean, at least they got some, with Thompson and Lopez and Connor Schaus.
Yeah, Schaus has not been the issue. It's been the first two.
Yeah.
Schaus had a good weekend at TCU. Yeah, definitely. Good to see those guys do some good things. I mean, Tracer drove in 4 last night, had just one hit, but Kyler just had one hit as well, but scored a couple of runs, reached on a walk as well. So there was good things from those guys. And
then Lincoln Garcia, he had 3 hits last night. That was good to see too, right?
Yeah, you definitely need to get him going. He's got to be a run producer for you, and he was really quiet in Fort Worth.
Yeah, he scored a couple of runs, 3 for 5 yesterday.
Yeah, and was robbed of an extra base hit, so very easily could have been 4 for 5.
Yeah. Let's see. And then what can you say about Caden Ferraro? He's been nails for you, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a terrific hitter. He really is. Got a good eye at the plate. Gets himself in hitters' counts and knows which pitches to move on. He's just a really smart hitter, and he's been terrific, no doubt.
Yeah. 8:07 this morning here on the morning drive.
You kind of feel like he somewhat gets overshadowed on this team, but I mean, when your batting average this deep into the season is still over 400, shouldn't be getting overshadowed.
Why do you think he gets overshadowed?
I think Lincoln Garcia is the star freshman. I think Logan Hughes, the guy's been here a couple years, expected to be a high draft pick. I just think, even Rusnick, who's, a guy that everybody is kind of having fun with, to see him both pitch and hit and have success doing both. I mean, I think all those things are, more shiny, flashy stories than what Caden Ferraro is. He's just a DH, and all he does is just, as the baseball guys say, Chuck, he just rakes.
He rakes.
He rakes.
I love that word. I love it when you guys say it. He just rakes.
I don't ever say it.
Does Hax say it sometimes?
Hax says,
he rakes.
Hax plays college baseball. He's allowed to pretend he's really on the inside. I'm just a guy.
No, you're more than just a guy. What hat size is Jesse Rusnick? Do you know?
I have no idea. He's got a big head of hair.
Well, he's got a mop on his head, doesn't he? Man, how does he fit? How does he get a cap in there, or a batting helmet, or anything like that? Does Coach? He doesn't have. Coach Tadlock doesn't have a hair policy, does he? Per se,
hair policy
that it can't be like below your ears, or has to be neatly groomed or anything like that.
It's not like he doesn't. Look like one of the Nelson brothers or anything like that. He's not in an 80s hair band. It's just big curly head of hair.
Like if you did a one-on-one with Jesse Rusnick, like your last question, would you say, what's your hat size?
Would I say that?
Yeah, would you ask him that?
I could.
Yeah.
It'd be the first time I ever asked a player that question, but...
First time for everything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.